over what you've done 2 days on a piece of paper. Now I want to talk about what it looks like online. Okay? The scatter plot shows the time spent watching TV, X, and the time spent doing homework, Y, each day last week. Use the equation of the line of best fit, Y equals negative 0.76x plus 26.04, to answer the following questions. Give exact answers, not rounded approximations. Meaning, that's a hint. If you get something crazy and bizarre, chances are you screwed up. Okay? So they're telling us, here's the line of best fit. That's the equation that represents that line. So what is the predicted time spent doing homework for a student who doesn't spend any time watching TV? How do you get that? Very good. Time spent watching TV is really your X. So if he doesn't do any time watching TV, his X is 0. Y equals negative 0.76 times 0 plus 26.04. Negative 0.76 times 0? 0. So he spends 26.04, is it hours? Hours. Each day last week. Okay, but remember, this is the line of best fit. Is it going to be perfect? No, it's a prediction. So it's not going to be perfect. What is the predicted time spent doing homework for a student who spends 12 hours watching TV? What do I do here? Plug in X is 12. What'd you get? $16.92, that's what I got too. 16.92 hours. So the last question says, for an increase of 1 hour in the time spent watching TV, what is the predicted decrease in the time spent doing homework? Time spent watching TV is what? X or Y? So every time you get one more X, they want to know what the decrease in time spent doing homework. And homework is Y. So blank in the Y. What are they looking for here? The slope. That's 100% all they're looking for. If my X goes up by 1, how far down is my Y going? 0.76 down. Now, do you need to put the negative sign in this? Why not? It says the word decrease. So really, you would put 0.076. That's the decrease. Now, if it just said, what's the change, then you would have to have the negative sign in there. Just asking you to analyze slope. So the first set of problems, you're just looking at, here's the line, here's the equation, how do I interpret it? This problem, the scatter plot shows the years of experience, X, and the hourly pay rate, Y, for each of 24 cashiers in Texas. Write an approximate equation of the line of best fit for the data. Note, it doesn't have to be the exact line of best fit. And I will tell you, Alex will automatically have y equals, and then they're asking you to fill in the blank. So they want it in slope-intercept in the end, y equals mx plus b. Now, they go on to ask you, using your equation from part A, predict the hourly pay rate for a cashier with 20 years of experience. And then this right here, note, you can use the graphing tools to help you approximate the line. So it will allow you to draw the line of best fit. And truthfully, that's going to be your greatest thing to do. Now, everybody hear me out. When you go to draw the line of best fit, you're trying to find the central, a few points above, a few points below, even some points on the line. Do not start on the y-axis. I almost guarantee you'll get it wrong every time. Now, the beautiful part about Alex is if you draw a line, you're like, oh, that's terrible looking. You can just erase it, right? So what you want to do right now is you want to draw a line through the central part of these points. A few above, a few below. Now, everything you did on Monday, I automatically gave you 2 points to use. That's not the case on this. So now you need to look at your graph, and yours is going to be a little bit different than mine. That's fine. And we need to pick 2 points on the line. They do not have to be data points. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking at this right here. I have 2218 as on my graph. Do you have 2218 on your graph? No? Pretty close. Okay, so I think we should use 22, 18. Somebody give me another point that you think is like pretty well on your line. It doesn't have to be a data point. And don't go right next to that. Like go on the further left side. 14, 14 I don't hate. 4, 8's a little low. 12. 10, 12. Okay. Now, yours could be a little bit different, and that's okay. If it's drastically different, that's an issue. One of those points somebody just gave us is a really good choice. Thatcher? What'd you say?
14, 14.
Why would 14, 14 be a really good choice? They're the same numbers, right? You can't screw up which one's X and which one's Y. So let's use 14, 14. Now that I have 2 points on the line, what do I need to do? Find your slope. Take those 2 points and find your slope. We got a nice number here. I got 4/8. Did you get 4/8? Now, it says approximate. So what are they giving you permission to use here? Decimals. That's an about. Round to the nearest hundredth. In this case, really we got 0.5, right? Okay, now I have my slope. What's my next step? I would plug it into, I would go into point slope, right? Go into point slope. My slope we just said was 0.5. Choose wisely here. What point should you use? 14, 14. You can't screw up the X and the Y. So I would write Y minus 14 equals 0.5 parenthesis X minus 14. Now, it will not take this on Alex. So what do you need to do? You need to, distribute first. Y minus 14 equals 0.5x minus 7 plus 14. Y equals 0.5x plus 7. Now glance over at your line. Does your line approximately cross the y-axis at 7? Mine's pretty close. Okay. You absolutely, whoo, that's potent. You absolutely, my nose is burning. You absolutely, sorry, I called you out. You absolutely are going to have decimals on this, and that's fine. It's approximation. We actually picked ones that ended up being pretty. I'm going to tell you they're not going to be pretty. So round to the nearest hundredth on there. Every time people do this, so they say, oh, I had this, and I didn't get the exact same one. Alex has like between this and this, and between this and this, and they'll take it. So yours has got to be pretty far off for them to not take it. So now it says, use your equation to predict the hourly rate for a cashier with 20 years of experience. What do I do there? 20 is your X. Y equals 0.5 times 20 plus 7. Don't use your calculator. What's 0.5 times 20? Thank you. Plus 7 is 17. So somebody that's been a cashier for 20 years, they predict will make $17 an hour. Still true now? Probably not. Most of your fast food restaurants are advertising what? 15 starting pay? Okay, flip it over. P of N given below is the price P in dollars for N grams of vitamin. P of N equals 0.25 N plus 5.2. Notice what did they give you? Decimals. Okay, complete the following statements. Let P inverse be the inverse. Take X to be an output. And that means X equals P of N and N equals P inverse of X. Truthfully, just ignore this. This is just reiterating that when you take the inverse, they swap places. So first thing is, which statement best describes P inverse of X? We don't have to find it, just tell me what it means. What is P inverse? What does it represent? Say it, Maya. What? If Meg picked it, I just heard you whisper it. I'm sorry. Oh, Meg, what do you got?
Price for X grams of vitamin.
She says D. Is that true? Right now, P stands for what? Price in dollars. And N is the grams of vitamin. So if I find the inverse, that means they swap. So P inverse really equals the grams of vitamins, and N equals price. So which one is it? B is in boy, correct? I got N's and X's in here. I think they're supposed to be N's. Who knows? Talk to whoever wrote this. Okay, now we got to find the inverse. So I start with P of N equals 0.25 N plus 5.2. Step 1. Oh. Yep, so Y equals 0.25 N plus 5.2. So N equals 0.25 Y plus 5.2. Anyone? Minus 5.2 or subtract 5.2. N minus 5.2 equals 0.25 Y. Divide by 0.25. Now here's, we got decimals and fractions. Let's actually divide this out. So 1 divided by 0.25 is 1,
That's 2.5, 0.2.
no, 1 divided by 0.25 is 4n. 5.2 divided by 0.25 is minus 20.8 equals y. So P inverse of x equals 4n minus 20.8. I really think that's supposed to be P inverse of n, not x. I think I typoed on that. Part C, P inverse of 8.5. Yep, so this is telling you what your n value is. So plug in 8.5, 4 times 8.5 minus 20.8. Am I right? Fraction's my worst subject. 13.2?
Yeah.
I'll be honest. The inverse ones you're going to fly through. I think you're going to get frustrated with your scatter plots. I'm just to give you the heads up. Okay? The rest of the hour, yours to work.